Guys, y'all want to know something funny? Couple of things. One, the magic of editing and the magic of movie making in action. I'm recording this video on the same exact day as I recorded the last one, Isis joining reaction. Change the shirt, y'all think it's a whole different day, a whole different shit. Nah, these are at the same time. Got him. Number two, Nematep here. She's kind of anxious when it comes to rain and thunderstorms. She's been panting like a motherfucker, like she just sprinted 3 miles straight. She gets all shaky and shit. Like it's one of the things about the Greyhound breed is that they're very not timid, but they're kind of like tender in terms of like their feelings and shit like that. If you pull her skin or you pull her ear like slightly too hard, she howls like it's the end of the world, like her life is coming to an end at the very moment that you did that. She's been trying to deal with the storm for like the last hour. Third, funny story, my brother, his girlfriend, my stepmom, all of them, they were in New York because they surprised him. I don't know if you saw the vlog that I did in Walla Walla, Washington. My brother's girlfriend surprised him with a 2-week vacation in New York City, Airbnb, and I don't know where they Airbnb'd or what have you. But my stepmom called me, and while they were there, and she's like calling me, I'm in the middle of like a meeting, an important signing, someone's closing on their house, on their loan officer. She's blowing me up back to back. And I'm like, oh shit, something happened in New York, something went down. I answer, hey, what's up, Annette? She's like, hey, we're in Chinatown, you want any knockoff shit? I couldn't even like be mad because I did want knockoff shit. Normally I don't condone buying knockoff anything. I'm someone who's authentic to the core. Buy the real shit, you can afford it, or you don't buy it at all. But seeing as how they were in New York and Chinatown is kind of known for having that knockoff culture, it's almost like a souvenir. I didn't get it for the fact that I plan on using it per se. This is a knockoff Louis Vuitton wallet. From afar, if I'm waving it around, if I just pull out some cash, yada yada yada, boom, you would never know. But as soon as I went to even try to put a card in here, motherfucking card slots aren't wide enough to fit a card. I had to like jam that shit in there and I was afraid of breaking my debit card. It's basically the equivalent of a magnet that doesn't stick to your refrigerator. That's what I have right here in this fake Louis Vuitton. But anyway, welcome back to the channel, The Third Ernest. Hope y'all like that little story time. But we're back to breaking down hip hop, and we're back to break down some more Eminem. It's been almost, I feel like 3 weeks. I'm fiending for it. The thunderstorm just came out of nowhere that my dog's freaking out about over there. So I thought what a beautiful time it is to break down the song and the video for Stan. So this might be a long video because Stan is a long song. I'm doing the version of the song that has every verse. Let's just go ahead and jump on into it without any further ado. See why I decided I want to do the song? The thunderstorm, the rain in the music video, the rain that's happening outside. So right out the gate, we got this motherfucker dyeing his hair with peroxide, which Eminem talks about a lot in his early work, that he dyes his hair with peroxide. And if for some reason you're clueless as to where the phrase "stan, you're a stan" came from, it's this motherfucking song right here. Like you're over the top fan. It's to a level of fanaticism. Is that even a word? You're a fanatic to a level where the actual artist himself would feel creeped out by you.
Stanley, open the door. I gotta go. Stanley, open the door. Open the door. Let me in.
What?
Stanley, what are you doing to yourself?
What the hell? You don't like it?
Stanley!
You like it?
Stanley!
What?
Don't
Call me that, okay? Don't call
do
me
you think you're taking this too far? Stanley! Stanley!
Got the wife beater t-shirt on too. What's bad about the way the song starts off, it starts off and they put like a low pass filter on it where there's really no bass. It kind of gives like this eerie tone to it. The sample is from Ditto, obviously, who's singing it right there, who's playing the pregnant girlfriend. It's crazy how Eminem took this love song that Ditto wrote about how everything could be going wrong in the world, but because your picture of my lover's on the wall, it reminds me that it's not so bad because I have you. That's a very romantic sentiment, but Eminem took that and then turned it into this fucking song where it's like a crazy sentiment, like it's the sentiment of a crazy fanatic person, and that's basically the whole point of the song, and completely flipped the meaning into something kind of much more sinister or much darker. That's tight. He's got the picture on the wall, like it's not his lover. It is his lover, but he has no significant connection to Eminem to be like that, to feel like that about him. I got Eminem's picture on my wall. I know that everything's gonna be all right now.
Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. I left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom. I sent 2 letters back in autumn. You must not have got them.
See, look.
There probably was a problem at the post office or something. Sometimes I scribble addresses too sloppy when I jot them. But anyways, what's been up, man? How's your daughter?
You see how he shifts the blame from Eminem? He shifts it to say, I know that you wouldn't do that to me because I'm your fan. I'm a serious, deep fan of yours, so I know that you wouldn't leave me hanging like that. It must have been the post office, or it must have been myself. There's no way that you could do wrong. It's like a classic checkbox for someone who's a fanatic over somebody, or a classic checkbox for someone who's obsessed with somebody that they can't do any wrong.
What's been up, man? How's your daughter? My girlfriend's pregnant too. I'm about to be a father. If I have a daughter, guess what I'ma call her? I'ma name her Bonnie. I read about your Uncle Ronnie too. I'm sorry. I had a friend himself over some who didn't want him. I know you.
You see how like devoted he is to Eminem? Like it's not even the worst part of the song yet, but you can still hear like the insane devotion to somebody to the point where you're like, the fuck? If I have a daughter, guess what I'm gonna call her? I'm gonna name her Bonnie. Going back to 96 Bonnie and Clyde, which was on Slim Shady LP, talking about how Haley is his Bonnie while he's Clyde, so he's gonna name his daughter Bonnie because of that relationship that Eminem has with Haley. And then I heard about your Uncle Ronnie too, I'm sorry, who killed himself over some bitch who didn't want him. He could be writing that like, you know how people say, oh, asking for a friend, but they're really asking for themselves. It's like foreshadowing to, I had a friend kill himself over some bitch who didn't want him. And that's like him saying later on in the song where he kills himself over Eminem because he didn't want him. That's a powerful last line.
I know you probably hear this every day, but I'm your biggest fan. I even got the underground that you did with Scam. I got a room full of your posters and your pictures, man.
I like you did the shit with Ruckus too, that shit was fat.
Anyways, I hope you get this, man.
Hit me back, just to chat. Truly yours, the biggest fan, just to stand. The thing about Eminem is that even when he's writing like this, where it's like not really a rhyme, it's almost like he's talking. He has 2 songs like this on this album, this one and Kim, where it's more like they're talking, but the rhyme schemes are still there. The multiple syllable, rhyme patterns are still there the entire time. And then he just goes on to like prove his love to Eminem, talking about, I even like that underground shit that you did with Scam. I like that shit you did with Ruckus too. That shit was fat. This was like before Eminem was popular. It's like underground shit, like saying that he's basically proving himself worthy to Eminem. See, and then the shit actually did fall off of this. So it wasn't Eminem's fault. It actually did fall out of the USPS mail system.
Dear Slim, you still ain't called a row. I hope you have a chance. I ain't mad. I just think up you don't answer fans.
So you see how the camera angle changed? And this is something that a lot of people don't realize about camera angles. This is what the director of photography does on set. This is what the director does on set. When we were we were at like a normal eye level camera angle.
Name of Bonnie. I read about your uncle.
Because he's talking more innocent right now. He's not angry at the moment. But when you come over here, when he starts getting angrier, the camera angle drops down and they use a wide angle lens so it distorts the way he looks. It makes him look more menacing. It makes him look more powerful because we're coming from a lower angle. And you can see that here, like the angle change makes you feel a little off. The lens change into something wide makes you feel a little off about the second verse. And you can already hear his kind of condescending tone. I ain't that mad. I just think it's fucked up you don't answer fans.
Dear Slim, you still ain't called a row.
See
I hope you have a chance.
See what I'm talking about?
I ain't mad. I just think
fucked up you don't answer fans.
If you didn't want to talk to me outside the concert, you didn't have to. But you could have signed an autograph for Matthew. That's my little brother, man. He's only 6 years old. We waited in the blistering cold for you for 4 hours and you just said no. That's pretty, man. You're like an idol. He wants to be just like you, man. He likes you more than I do.
You see that? He's shifting his idolizing tendencies of Eminem to his little brother, even though his little brother, obviously, look at how old he is, and was he 4? He doesn't even know about what's going on. You're kind of seeing the recount of what he thought happened in his eyes, the way Eminem looked at him at the actual concert, like, fuck this guy. But really, that's not what happened, and we hear that in Eminem's verse.
If you didn't want to talk
at
to
the
me outside the concert, you didn't have to.
See the way he looks at him, like, what the fuck? Fuck this guy, weirdo. That's just the way he's seen it, because now he's angry.
He likes you more than I do. I ain't that mad, though I just don't like being lied to. Remember when we met in Denver? You said if I write you would write back. See, I'm just like you in a way. I never knew my father neither. He used to always cheat on my mom and beat her. I can relate to what you're saying in your songs.
So when I have a shitty day, I drift away and put them on.
Cause I don't really got else.
So that shit helps when I'm depressed. I even got a tattoo with your name across the chest. Damn, this song is powerful, especially with the visuals of the music video, because I don't watch the music video. Because 1, the video is old, and 2, in this video, they don't cuss. Or the explicits are left out, so it takes a lot of the emotion out of the song. See, now he's putting like the mind tricks on Eminem. He's trying to put like that guilt trip in his mind through this letter. Like, if you didn't want to talk to me outside the concert, you didn't have to, but you could have signed an autograph for Matthew. That's my little brother, man. And he's like, remember when we met in Denver? You said if I write you, we would write back. Like, you said all these things. You told me you made all these promises that you're not keeping up. I'm doing my side of the job. Where you at? And he says, I'm just like you in a way. He's trying to connect with this person that he feels like this idolization toward. I never knew my father neither. He always used to cheat on my mom and beat her. So I could relate to what you're saying in your songs. And then that little wordplay. And I ain't really got shit else, so that shit helps when I'm depressed. That's fire.
When I'm depressed.
If I sing, it's because I want to hear the cuss word.
Your name across the chest.
Sometimes I even cut myself to see how much it bleeds. It's like adrenaline. The pain is such a sudden rush for me.
See, everything you say is real, and I respect you because you tell it. My girlfriend's jealous because I talk about you 24/7. But she don't know you like I know you, Slim.
No one does.
She don't know what it was like for people like us growing up. You gotta call me, man.
Look at this weird shit.
You'll ever lose. Sincerely yours, Stan. P.S. We should be together too.
Ooh. What kind of fucking weird freak shit is that to say to someone whose album, who you so desperately love, covered first song to last song in homophobic slurs and things like that? Eminem, I don't personally believe is actually homophobic. Like I've said in previous videos, he's just doing it for the rise. Still, you know the dude is straight. Who are you, James Charles, trying to fucking get him into a different mindset in terms of his sexuality? And he says, sometimes I even cut myself to see how much it bleeds. It's like adrenaline. The pain is such a sudden rush for me. Like, why do you even have to say that? Like, what's that got to do with anything? And why are you even doing that? That's like a telltale sign that something is mentally wrong with this person. My girlfriend's jealous because I talk about you 24/7. Like, how much are you in love with Eminem to where your straight girlfriend is jealous about how much you talk about another straight man? All these fucking red flags. And then he tapes over her picture with an Eminem picture. Like, the fuck? What is this, The Office? Where he photoshops himself into like the family vacation? I'll be great with your picture on my wall. It reminds me.
Dear mister, I'm too good to call or write my fans. This will be the last package I ever send your ass. It's been 6 months, still no word. I don't deserve it. I know you got my last 2 letters. I wrote the addresses on them perfect.
Fire. You got the stupid little like Marshall Mathers thing hanging out the back. Fucking weirdo.
So this is my cassette I'm sending you. I hope you hear it. I'm in the car right now.
I'm doing 90 on the freeway. Hey Slim, drank a fifth of vodka. Dare me to drive. You see how he's like mocking Eminem now by using his lead-off hit single that put him on the charts? I just drank a fifth of vodka, dare me to drive. He says that in The Real Slim Shady, but he actually did drink a fifth of vodka. So Eminem can kind of see like how he has this, while he's saying these things jokingly, some people that are like seriously demented like this guy, like how they can take it literally. Fire.
Dare me to drive? You know the song by Phil Collins, In the Air of the Night, about that guy who could have saved that other guy from drowning, but didn't? Then Phil saw it all, then at a show he found him? That's kind of how this is. You could have rescued me from drowning, now it's too late. I'm on 1,000, now I'm drowsy. No.
See, he's putting him through the ringer mentally, saying, you remember that song by Phil Collins, In the Air in the Night? Phil Collins had a song that a lot of people speculated that it was about him witnessing somebody drown, even though that's not what it was about at all. You could have kept me from drowning, but it's too late. I'm already on my way to commit suicide.
On 1,000, now I'm drowsy. And all I wanted was a lousy letter of a call. I hope you know I ripped all of your pictures off the wall. I love you, Slim. We could have been together. Think about it. You ruined it now. I hope you can't sleep and you dream about it. And when you dream, I hope you can't sleep and you scream
scream about it. I hope your conscience eats at you when you can't breathe without me.
You see how like he had this whole vision in his head about what they could have been, even though they would have never been that. There was no chance in hell that was ever gonna happen. And he's like, I hope the fact that I kill myself over you, as soon as I said, I hope the fact that I kill myself over you, there was a legitimate fucking thunder outside. Like you see in the movies, like you see in this right here. Kind of freaked me out a little bit right now. I have to regroup on my train of thought. That was fucking weird. Like, I hope you realize, one, what we could have been, and I hope you realize, two, I'm dead now because of you. That's such a manipulative thing that people do that are in toxic relationships. They say that they're gonna kill themselves to try to guilt the person into staying so that way they don't have that burden on their conscience for the rest of their life. If you're personally in that type of situation where someone says that they're gonna kill themselves if you leave them or whatever, anything of that nature, leave. If they do it, it's not your fault. It's nothing to do with you. It's all to do with them. Don't stick around because it's only gonna get worse. You just gotta know that if it's not you, if this were a parallel universe and it was somebody completely different, they would have said the same thing to them. They don't really feel like that about you. If they really felt like they loved you, nobody would say that kind of shit. That's just my thought on it. Anyway, let's keep going. I hope your conscience eats at you when you can't breathe without me. See, Slim, shut up, bitch, I'm trying to talk. Hey, Slim, that's my girlfriend screaming in the trunk, but I just slit her throat. I just tied her up. See, I ain't like you. In case she'll suffer more, and then she'll die too.
Well, gotta go.
I'm almost at the bridge now. Oh shit, I forgot. How am I supposed to send this shit out? I had to basically say that whole last portion of the verse because that's where he's talking about killing his wife or killing his girlfriend who's pregnant. The whole shit was censored. If I didn't say it, you would not have heard a single word.
I'm trying to talk.
Hey Slim, that's my girlfriend. But I ain't like you. She'll some more, and then she'll too. See all that shit that was left out because this is the edited version? This is the reason why Kim was left off of the edited version of the album altogether, because it would have sounded just like that for 5 minutes. But Eminem talks about murdering Kim, where he kills her, ties her up, puts her in the trunk. But that's why he says, see, I ain't like you, even though he just spent this whole time saying that he's exactly like Eminem. See, now I ain't like you, now that I don't like you anymore. I just tied her up, because if she suffocates, she'll suffer more, and then she'll die too. You just slit her throat. Me, I tied her up, and then she'll suffocate and drown because I'm just going off this bridge. The climactic buildup of like these 3 verses from like not pissed to like kind of annoyed, then kind of getting a little pissed, but I'm still on your side, to fuck you, Eminem. I'm gonna kill myself for you. See what you did? I'm gonna kill myself, my pregnant chick, and our unborn baby. This is why the long version isn't played on the radio.
It's not so bad, it's not so bad.
Dear Stan, I meant to write you sooner, but I've just been busy. You said your girlfriend's pregnant now. How far along is she? Look, I'm really flattered you would call your daughter that. And here's an autograph for your brother. I wrote it on the starter cap.
See how important that line is in 2019? He said that line in his Kill Shot disc, like here's an autograph, I wrote it on a starter cap. And then also in Bad Guy, you can have your Broncos hat back because they suck.
I wrote it on the starter cap. I'm sorry I didn't see you with the show. I must have missed you. Don't think I did that intentionally just to diss you.
You see how he's saying it from his point of view? Earlier in the video, when Stan was talking about it, it made it seem like he dissed him, like he just went to the truck. But now we see the reality that he actually did try to talk to him, but he got rushed away by his security.
I'm sorry I didn't see you with the show.
I must have missed you. Don't think I did that shit intentionally just to diss you. But what's the shit up they said about you like to cut your wrist too? I say that shit just clowning, dog. Come on, how fucked up is you? Stan was saying it like thinking that Eminem would be excited that he does that, but he's like, hey bro, like what the fuck? Chill out. Like, how fucked up is you? You got some issues, man. I think you need some counseling to help your ass from bouncing off the walls when you get down some. True.
That's like don't make me not want us to meet each other.
See, it was censored right there, but he said, and what's this shit you said about us that we're meant to be together? That type of shit will make me just not want to meet each other. It's censored now in 2019 because you can't be homophobic like that. But that's not even being homophobic in my personal eyes. It's just saying like, hey, like what's this shit you're saying that we're meant to be together? Not even on some no homo shit. That shit's weird to say to someone that you've never met or you don't even know. Like I wouldn't want to meet someone that told me that too. Not because I'm like, you know, homophobic or anything. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like who says shit like that to someone that they've never met before?
I really think you and your girlfriend need each other. But maybe you just need to treat her better. I hope you get to read this letter. I just hope it reaches you in time before you hurt yourself. I think that you'll be doing just fine if you relax a little.
Like Eminem is like, bro, you just need to calm the fuck down. You just need to be with your girlfriend. She loves you, you love her. You're just being on some crazy shit.
I think that you'll be doing just fine if you relax a little.
I'm glad I inspire you, but stand. Why are you so mad? Try to understand that I do want you as a fan. I just don't want you to do some crazy shit. I seen this one shit on the news a couple weeks ago that made me sick. Some dude was drunk and drove his car over a bridge and had his girlfriend in the trunk, and she was pregnant with his kid. And but they didn't say who it was to. Come to think about it, his name was Jew. And that's Stan right there. Eminem's verse is so powerful because it shows a completely different side of Eminem that is not even anywhere else on this album. It shows someone who's sympathetic, it shows someone who's understanding, who shows empathy towards somebody else. I understand where you're coming from, but why are you so mad? You need counseling. Like you need to try to work on yourself. You know, trying to help him out, where the rest of the album is just Eminem talking shit, not trying to help anybody but himself. And obviously the most powerful part is when he realizes that he's too late. In the car they found a tape, but they didn't say who it was to. Come to think about it, his name was you. And that was a motherfucking twist when it first came out. Like that shit was fire. That caught me off guard. It caught everybody off guard. And then now we got Bad Guy on Marshall Mathers LP 2, the first song on the album, which is basically Stan's little brother grown up coming after Eminem. Like you're the reason why my brother died and I've been waiting to get vengeance, which is why people, whenever they request this song, they request them back to back. So that way you can hear the two songs together and see how they tie together. Fire song, obviously, iconic song. This is the one that he came out with Elton John after everybody had basically called him a homophobic person because of this album. He came out with Elton John at the Grammys and Elton John sang Ditto's part and they hugged it out, they did all that. Everybody thought it was a stunt, but I thought it was tight. Anyway, hope y'all like that. I really don't like watching the video, like I said, or because there's not an unedited version of this video that I've seen. That's why I like listening to it. You saw like basically the long stints of nothing. Next is obviously Bad Guy, so we can break that down back to back. Thank y'all guys for being here. If you're new here, thanks for being a part of the family. If you're here and you're not part of the family yet, go ahead and click that little subscribe button if you like what you see and become part of the family. You know, y'all aren't subscribers, y'all aren't fans, y'all aren't anything other than family who appreciates lyricism and hip hop in the same way that I do. And I try to break it down and I try to maybe make you see things, give you some insight that you had not prior after 20 years of this song being out, basically. Hope y'all like that. Everyone, you know, be safe, have a good night, have a good holiday, have a good whenever you're seeing this, basically, whatever day that is, have a good that day. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.